All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. Today let's talk about core exercises, or ab exercises as they used to be called until the modern functional fitness trend bopped in. So a big part of everyone's goal when doing ab exercises is always the six-pack. But I'll tell you a secret, everybody has a six-pack. It's just called the rectus abdominis. That's the way the muscle's designed. When you think of classic ab exercises, you think of things like sit-ups, Russian twists, and flutter kicks. The problem with these movements is that they're kind of work for work's sake. There's not really a practical application for these. They're sort of parts of a movement, and they're just trying to condition the muscle rather than being applied to a broader, more practical movement. The muscles in your core basically do two things. They either move your trunk, which would be flexing, extending, or rotating your trunk, or they create a strong anchor point for your limbs to pull against. If your core were unable to stabilize so that your limbs could pull against it, then what would actually happen is you would generate very little force, because when you tried to move your arms or your legs, what would happen is your spine would bend or flex or rotate, and you would lose a lot of that power. That trunk needs to be able to get into position, lock down, and then your limbs use it as sort of an anchor point to pull against. If I move my arm like this, and this can't tighten down, what ends up happening is I end up flexing like this, and I end up losing a lot of power. The good news about this is that you don't really need to focus on training your core. As long as you're doing broad perspective, general movement, your core is going to condition itself. The trick is, as you get good at a movement, to either add intensity or add complexity. In other words, a strong, stable, mobile core is a consequence of good movement, not the purpose of exercise. Movements like these all do a fantastic job of conditioning the core. And by adding complexity, you force your core to work in different ways to either move in a more demanding way or a more difficult problem to stabilize. For example, like carrying a load on my shoulder across the 2x4 is a much more demanding task than just carrying the load on flat, wide, level ground, or just walking across the 2x4. If what you're in fact looking for is that six-pack ab, you should be focusing more on diet. As I already said, the six-pack is inside everybody, that it just, if your body fat percentage is too high, then you can't really see it. Conditioning your core will develop the muscles, and they will develop, thicken, grow a little bit, but it's not going to be significant enough to get through a significant amount of body fat. If you want a six-pack ab look, then you gotta diet, I hate that word, diet. You have to clean up your diet and drop body fat percentage. As your body fat comes down, the muscles will be more visible, and that's where that look comes from, those washboard abs. Just because you can't see the six-pack doesn't mean you don't have it, or that you don't have a strong, stable core. Lean does not make strong and healthy. So for those of you that hate doing crunches, sit-ups, all those blah, blah, blah boring ab exercises, thankfully you never have to do them ever again. There's a much better way to get your core in shape and develop a functional, strong midsection without doing those mindless repetitions. Do you have a favorite movement that you like that really requires your core to activate and stabilize and move? Share it down in the comments below. If you like the video, smash that thumbs up button. Share the video with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your life in motion.